Is peppermint safe for dogs? Well, if we're talking about peppermint like the leaves from the plant, then sure. If we're talking about peppermint candy, then there can be some issues there. Sometimes peppermint candy may be a little bit too intense for your average dog. And also there's the question of what else is in that candy, particularly if we're talking about something that may have artificial sweeteners in it. Artificial sweeteners are very, very bad for dogs. So in general, it's a good idea to keep all candy away from the dog. How do I keep my cat warm in the winter? If your kitty lives indoors, then it shouldn't be that big of an issue. Just make sure they have a nice warm bed. If you have a kitty that goes outside, it's really important to make sure that they have a warm place, preferably someplace indoors, like maybe a garage or a shed or something to that effect. They do make heated pet beds, so that's something that I would recommend that you think about as well if we're talking about a kitty that's outside. But in a perfect world, you want that kitty indoors. Can tinsel be toxic for my cat? I don't know if toxic is really the right word there, but tinsel can actually be very, very bad for cats. It's long and it's stringy, and when cats eat long and stringy things, sometimes it gets caught in their intestines and they get what's called a linear foreign body. That can be a life-threatening thing that in some cases requires surgery to resolve. So yes, please keep your kitties away from the tinsel. What kind of holiday decorations are dangerous for cats and dogs? So a lot of people like to light scented candles around holiday time. For the most part, the scent in the scented candle should be fine. Animals can be somewhat sensitive to strong odors, so I would recommend that if you're gonna use one of those, you always wanna make sure that your pet has someplace else to go where they can get away from the smell if they want to. Also, just be aware, and this is particularly a thing with cats, but with dogs as well, anytime you have a lit candle, there's always the potential your pet could knock it over and there'd be a fire hazard. So keep that in mind from the standpoint of where you put the candle. Any piece of foreign material that your pet, particularly your dog, might be tempted to eat is potentially concerning. Anything that is a food item, particularly if it contains artificial sweeteners, that can also be dangerous for dogs and cats. And that also includes the Christmas tree itself. Sometimes dogs and cats like to nibble on the pine needles or actually drink the water out of the bowl at the bottom of the tree. And that pine sap is actually really, really irritating the gastrointestinal tract. So that can cause a lot of tummy upset. So best to keep the dogs and cats far enough away from the tree that they can't get exposed to that sort of thing.